Hello everybody. So in today's video I'll be doing a general showcase of Wukong. Right, it's not spaced out. Wukong, Jin Mori, whatever you want to call him. I'll be doing, well, not really a showcase, but more of a just ranking of this character and how he just works as a character and, you know, just how well he fits into the game. So first thing we're looking at is he a good leader? As you can see, he's a 120 awakened power lead with plus 10 range, which is amazing. He's better than what used to be the best awakened power leader, which was Hikari on 120. He also has an extra range, and he's actually a useful and good unit, so he's a lot better than Hikari. I'd give that a 90. A 120 lead that adds on anything is great, but like, of course, naturally there's better leads, and just giving a 99 for a great lead but not the best one is, yeah. Take a look at his categories. He's under some really good categories: Awakened Power, Fierce Fighter, so he can be buffed by Leader; Godly Energy, Nature's Fury, so he can get the 3 times buff by, where is he? So you can get the 3 times buff by Butterfly Guard. Let me actually put him on the team. Yeah, if I had to just rank his categories, I'd say all his categories are really solid. Savior of the Earth, really good category, led by Senku. Prodigy, great, led by Megami. Dragonic Force, great, led by Kaido. Really great categories. Not many, but ones that really do hit. Unfortunately, he's not a hero or a villain, so that could cause problems if you're trying to use All Might. But he has some really good categories and a 3 times buff, so I'll give this a 80. I'll give it an 83. The fact that he only has, what is that, 7 categories is kind of holding him back, but I mean, those 7 categories went 7 for 7, so I'll give it a 83. I think that's okay. Now let's look at his typing and his passive. His passive ability is Rising Voltage. For some reason they're not showing me what it does, but it's a whole spiel. It's just, keep in mind, a really good passive. Combine it with any paralysis unit and it goes absolutely stupid. So if you could find a way to get Killua and him on the same team, Killua being Paralysis X and him being Rising Voltage, that would go absolutely stupid and be amazing. Like, no doubt in my mind about it. And since he's a water typing, there's not many water typings that are actually good in the game, so that's like a big thing. Alright, let's just take a look at the water typings. No, aqua typings, yeah. You got your usual Esdef, your Silver Hunter, you know, your usuals for a freeze team, but Wukong really just adds on to the water element in general and really allows you to just not bring just a freeze break team. So, you know, that's very good for him. And having a really good passive too, I'd give him a 92. Really solid, extremely great. Like, so far this unit is looking amazing from what I've been able to see. Can't find any issues with him. Just for you guys wondering, this is the stats I have on him right now, so keep that in mind. Yeah, I have yet to limit break him or anything like that, so yeah, just keep that in mind. As you can see, I've gotten a lot of damage on him. I've cleared 5 stages. This unit is great, honestly great. Now we can talk about some stuff I've done on camera. I've cleared an Abyss stage with him, and I want to say, well, first let's rank his overall cost. I'm getting ahead of myself. As you can see, I have his cost on the lowest scale, but even still, his cost on the lowest scale cost about 300k to max out. So this is going to be a pretty hefty hit to him, but I'm going to give him a 45 for cost. 300k isn't impossible, but it's so bad, especially if you're not running 2 farm units. And I know not everybody has Senku, so farming is naturally harder for other people than it is for somebody like me. So yeah, keep that in mind. His cost is horrible, but he really does make up for it in his damage, his range, and everything else. I'll get into that right now, actually. As you can see, once again, this is a attack scale and his range scale. Wukong, well, that was actually with the Keyskate buff, so I'll go into a game to show you guys. But while I'm loading into a game, I'll talk to you guys. Well, I'll load into the training thing and then I'll get back to you guys. Here we have him, blue flame on placement. Let's just get all the buffs on here, and then we'll see like what he's doing for real. He put that on auto. He max out leader. Let me get Senku for the range buff. Although I'm pretty sure these like conflict with each other, right? Yeah, they do. Alright, yeah, just wanted to make sure. Okay. Wasting time. Alright, okay. So as you can see, it's blue flame. If you guys wanted to see the effects, we can take a look at some of them. Let me turn my graphics up a decent bit. Put them on auto. Alright, first attack, pretty flashy. Alright, you can see it. By now, he already has some really great damage with all his supports. Like, it only took like 12k to get him to a point where he's doing 1.17 mil, which is honestly insane. Full AoE and superpower too. He changes his passive around a lot, which makes him a very interesting unit. He doesn't consistently rise in power. That looks like it's multi-hit. It is multi-hit. Okay, that's very interesting. Right. Let's upgrade him to his Yuan throw, or however you pronounce that. So far, he's looking really solid and very promising. He's rising voltage on that upgrade. The debris is actually like an in-game thing. Okay, I think my mouse double-clicked and I skipped over and upgraded too. Okay, so we were at this. Yeah, and then it's this, the thunderstorm. Alright, this ability is also rising voltage. Now, as you'd expect, it's literally just a thunderstorm that goes around this humongous circle, may I add. This circle is absolutely insane. I want to say it's the biggest circle I've seen in the game, but, you know, I could be wrong. And he maxes out at 6.05 mil, 395 range every 10 seconds. So, as you can see, this unit is an insanely strong damage dealer. Let me try to upgrade him in one go to avoid the leader buff, or the leader reduced cost. Yeah, let me wait for that to go away. Is he just not gonna go away? Alright, well, I mean, we're just doing it with the reduced cost. Even with reduced cost, he costs around like 220k to max out, which is pretty expensive, a hefty penny for sure. But as you can see, he's doing some really strong damage. Great unit. If I had to rate his just damage, speed, and range, I'd give him a solid 89. I don't give him a 90 or anything higher because that 10-second SVA, well, actually, nah. Because of the circle, I'll give him a 93 or 90, a 94. I think that's fair. Because he can hit a lot in the circle. It's great. And his damage to SVA ratio is pretty solid. Or his DPS. So next we'll talk about his circle. Biggest circle I've seen in the game. Close to full AoE. And it covers a huge portion of the map on rising voltage. The easiest 99 I've ever seen. Let's also take a look at how he did in Abyss. Now, I was doing Abyss with this team, Wukong, Maki, Meliodas, I believe it was Senku, Ramen Guy, and Kisuke for the buff. Yeah, that's exactly what the team was. And that team absolutely decimated Abyss 81 through 84. Like, it was not even a close, it was not a competition. It was just easy. Wukong usually would have the most damage. For those of you guys who know, floor 81 of Abyss is a green stage, so Wukong was actually nerfed in that stage, but still managed to pull through and have the most damage out of everybody. So that just gives you a glimpse or an idea of how strong that unit is. So yeah, he goes absolutely stupid in certain stages. So for his Abyss rating, I'd give him a 95 because of aforementioned issues. He needs really good teammates to succeed, but when he gets going, he gets going. Like, he can even, you know, hold off Abyss by himself for a little bit off of his raw strength alone, but he definitely needs help to get going because his cost is just so massive. Once again, I mean, I didn't have this in my last video when I was doing Spirit God, but there was I need to give him an infinite rating. So once again with the same team, Meliodas, Maki, and what's his name? What's his face? Meliodas, Maki, and Wukong. Yeah, of course. Same team. I was only able to get to like wave 33 in Rune Society. That's because Wukong, even though his damage is great, he relies heavily on his passive to fully maximize his capable damage. So it's like, if there's resist units, or if the stage mainly consists off of resist units, then he'd have a really hard time in said infinite. And now that I think about it, most infinites have resist units, so that does kind of drag his infinite rating down to a 90. He's so solid and still so great, but not being able to use Rising Voltage cuts him off from that 99 that he so desperately would want. Yeah. As you guys can see, Wukong is really great. Just give him a few upgrades, and he's already at full AoE. That was 3 upgrades. My mouse just double clicked. Yeah, give him 3 upgrades. He's already a full AoE unit, costing only like 14k to get up there. Throughout his other upgrades, he increases his attack heavily and very steadily, so that's something great that you also want to keep an eye out for. This unit is really good for story mode, but you know, as he gets more and more expensive, it makes him harder. If I had to give him a rating for story mode, I'd give him a smooth like 87. 1.17 mil just can't hack it, and his range right now is nothing to write home about. I feel like you can find better just overall progressive units on a better stat. But you know, it gets good. 7 second SBA really sells him, because if you know, if the enemy's too fast and they just sprint through, like, actually let's take a look at the animation. Well, I don't know if the animation will really hold it, but I'm getting off topic. Yeah, it's just how his SBA keeps on rising, and his range gets slightly bigger each and every time until he gets to that one big upgrade that really shoots his range up high. But yeah, for now, I'll give him an 87 in story. Well, let's talk about how hard he is to obtain. I have screenshots of when I evolved him, the materials he required, and I remember them being a lot, like a lot. Okay, so Wukong needs 50 billion damage, 1.1 mil gold, 7 inverted spears or broken heavenly spears, 5 mystical crystals, 10 ancient orbs, 10 calamity orbs, 10 demonic hearts, a certain amount of blue orbs. I can't really tell what that is. I'm gonna assume it's 25k or maybe 10k that he needs. He needs 1 legend stage crystal, about, I can't really tell, but that should be 2k spirits, and more or less some secret crystal shards. You get the gist. He's pretty pricey, but nothing crazy. Like, this is all stuff you could craft with whatchamacallit, universal material, I believe. Sorry if I keep on getting close to the mic and getting you guys. Getting his damage is no issue. He's really strong, unevolved too. This is actually way better than I thought. He's way easier to get than I thought. So, in terms of getting the unit, really easy. So I'd give him, if I could find my notepad, I'd give him a 95 overall. Getting him isn't easy. I mean, it isn't hard, especially if you're like a mid-game person, or especially if you're like mid-game. You can easily just grind out Pink Dungeon, get your universal materials, evolve him, and you know, just go on with your day, because he's a great unit to evolve. Definitely a unit you want to get, and you know, stuff like that's important. Now let's go over his ability to lead the team. I know I got all these buffs, so like, let's bring him back here, show what he looks like with no buffs. So this is what you're starting out with. 20k Blue Flame. Blue Flame is a really good passive, so keep that in mind. 40% chance though. 1 upgrade, 2 upgrade, full AoE with 253k. Costed us only 15k. This unit is really good progressively, which is surprising to me because I wasn't expecting that from him. Especially throughout all my tests, I thought he would be like just a really good unit once he's there, like once he finally gets going. But you learn something new every day. Alright, keep it going. I'm pretty sure my mouse double clicked, so it skipped over the upgrade where he got rising voltage. But as you see, he doesn't get much better past this full AoE. He gets this big circle and like doubles his damage and a lot of upgrades that costed like 46 to 47k to just get that far, only to double his damage. Once again, like you see, it's a really pricey just for his damage to increase by the slightest once you get him past that full AoE. So he's not a great progressive unit without the buffs. Like, he starts off really strong with his full AoE, gaining a lot of attack, but he doesn't progressively get that much better. So I'll give him a clean 86. He's really solid, but you know, he just doesn't get too much better. I know that's without buffs, so you know, it may look like it's just like unfair to him and how it's going, but nah, it is, trust me. So that's his leadership role out the way. Really good. He's a pretty good and really solid early game unit. Now let's take a look at some other categories. Let's also look at like all his passives throughout his you know, just time. So we start off with Blue Flame, of course. Upgrade that, we get superpower. I hate when this mouse double clicks. Upgrade that, you get to a heal status. Getting a heal status on him is pretty expensive, so that could be an issue in the future. Rising voltage, and then you know, he just sticks with rising voltage after that. Blue Flame into superpower into rising voltage is not bad. Starting off as Blue Flame is pretty good too, because Blue Flame stacks. Not bad. Just going off of the passives he cycles through, and his starting passive being Blue Flame and his ending passive being rising voltage, I'll give him a smooth 89. Really good really good passives to start off with, and really good passives to end off with. Cause in his earlier forms, his SPA is 6, so he's relatively fast. He can get his hits in. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Worry in mind, but it's completely gone out of my mind. So you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna just tally it up and give you guys the overall of the things I found important to rate him on. All right, that's what I was thinking of. Okay, edit all that out before. Weekly challenge. He performs really well in weekly challenge. I used him with I'm pretty sure the same team. Actually, no, I think instead of Meliodas, I brought Nightmare, And instead of ramen guy, I brought maybe Meliodas. Yeah, that would sound about right. Because I wanted to keep the team relatively similar. So it was Mr. Awakened Power Leader, Wukong as my leader. And then we had Maki, Senku, Kisuke. Appreciate you for subscribing. Flux. Wukong, Maki, Kisuke, Senku, Meliodas, and Nightmare. So that team that I was using was single-handedly able to get me a 23 million score. Wukong was hitting like an absolute beast, and he was getting his damage in. I think, as you know, the race was pretty neck and neck since Maki had a boost in just overall attack because she was on a water stage. But I think Wukong was able to just keep it in his favor and just maintain the victory. So that team alone getting me 23 mil score is insane. Wukong is, well, it isn't all Wukong. Nightmare came in clutch with all the abilities she has. I might even bring that up later, make a video on her. But yeah, really just overall a good unit that fits into almost any team that you can put him in. And he really just makes teams better. So if I had to give him a weekly challenge rating, I'd give him a smooth 91. He's having rising voltage in a weekly challenge is extremely useful, but this unit just he's interesting. You know, he doesn't have that high of a ceiling. Caps out at 6.05, and that, keep in mind, that's with Butterfly Guard's buff. If it was without it and with Kisuke's buff, he'd cap out at like 5.05 mil. He's a really interesting case. Like, you know, maybe if I had a trade on him, he'd be a lot better. But, you know, he's good. He's really good. If I was bringing a certain team and Wukong so happened to fit into the category, I would definitely bring him. Now, let's tally up all the ratings he got and put it into an overall rating.
Much later.
All right. And going through all his ratings, that gives us a very solid 87.3 overall. I honestly thought he'd be higher. I thought he'd be breaking the 90 club. But, wow. You know, that's so far the best we had. That's not saying a lot. Cat Spirit was honestly a terrible unit. Wow. Okay. The only thing he was really held back was by the 45 I gave him in cost, but I feel like that's reasonable. Costing upwards to 300k is not good for a team because you have to start off with all the other units, and then like, yeah, it's just too much effort. You always got to bring a second farm unit, so stuff like that is something you definitely want to crack down on. But an 87 overall is really solid. This unit is clearly versatile, as you can see, and there's a lot of categories I graded him on, and for the most part he passed practically every single one of them. An 87 overall is a really good player. Like, I don't know, give me Tyrese Maxey. Like, just, you know, an 87 overall can confidently be a potential Hall of Famer. I wouldn't say it's a Hall of Famer, but a potential Hall of Famer. So as you see, Wukong is a very complete unit. Him being a Battle Pass unit too really just spikes him up there. Like, when you really think about it, who knows, maybe you could consider him a 90. For now, what I got from him was an 87. His performance was surprisingly good for a unit that is from the Battle Pass. And I mean, it's just so easy to obtain the unit that, you know, it's surprising that they're that good. And yeah, this unit just overall, all around, is great. I honestly recommend that you get them. And that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll be seeing you guys. Bye.